open book for Ray Leonard. Backs up against the ropes.
This is one of the most unusual calls by a referee in the history of the sport.
The first loss. A tremendous victory. Leonard fighting off the ropes.
It happened. It happened. Uppercut by Douglas. Down goes Tyson. Hooks in right hand shot.
Excellent. Knocks out by Tyson.
Slumps to the canvas.
The champion struggles to stay on his feet.
How do you like it? How do you like it?
Hello, I'm Jim Lampley. Welcome to this look back at the stories behind Hagler-Leonard, one of the most memorable fights in 30 years of boxing on HBO. Life, we're fond of saying, is unfair. And even unfairer it sometimes seems in the game of fame and fortune. Why is it some great fighters become stars and others, perhaps equally great, are largely ignored in the world beyond the ropes? Never did a prize fight more graphically underline this inequity than in 1987, when Ray Leonard made his most memorable comeback against marvelous Marvin Hagler.
Today, people still will argue who won the fight. I don't care who you're with. A Hagler and Leonard fight comes up. It's the conversation for the night.
How do you like it? How do you like it?
I know I won the fight. He believes he won the fight.
Everyone says, you know, Hagler, I picked you. I want to know. I says, how did I lose this fight then?
Both fighters think they won the fight.
The decision announced on April 6, 1987, assured one man's ascent to greatness, confirming the unfortunate fate of another. But for Sugar Ray Leonard and marvelous Marvin Hagler, the bad blood goes back to the beginning of a long road of disparity. Their conflicting journeys date back to the amateurs, as the show-stealing Leonard embarked upon the golden road to the 1976 Olympic Games. Hagler, an amateur champion eager for a payday, turned professional only to be humbled with $50 fights in obscure arenas.
Nobody ever thought of Marvin Hagler as a potential champion. I mean, probably not for the first 5 or 6 years of his career. Ray Leonard, coming out of the Olympic Games, was groomed to be a champion. There was no question about it. He was the golden boy.
Ray wins the gold medal, and he's America's hero, and he gets $40,000 for his first fight. Marvin made $50. This guy makes $40,000. He's on CBS, and Hagler's looking, saying, you know, what about me?
The skids were greased for Ray, and Marvin, what did he have? Nothing. All he was this tough, working class, take your lunch pail to work, blue collar, tough guy fighter from Rocky Marciano's hometown of Brockton, Massachusetts.
I think Marvin Hagler resented the fact that he had to slog the hard road to get recognition. He had to fight 40 or 50 fights before people would agree that he was a pretty good fighter.
Well, I never had nothing easy in my life in the boxing game. Always had to keep jumping hurdles after another hurdle, or always another hurdle.
After 6 long years and 49 professional fights, an embittered Hagler was desperate for a shot at the title.
This is a feature attraction of the afternoon.
But to Hagler's dismay, his first shot came on the undercard of Sugar Ray Leonard's first welterweight championship bout in 1979.
Introducing the challenger, marvelous Marvin Hagler.
And the inequity of Leonard's $1 million paycheck and Hagler's $40,000 purse continued to fuel the envy of a brawler fighting for respect.
Vito stunned by a Hagler right.
Yet despite a damaging performance requiring multiple stitches in Vito Antuofermo's face, Hagler's dream of becoming middleweight champion fell short.
The decision is a draw.
It's a draw.
Antuofermo is skilled.
Vito retains the title. Good Lord, they called it a draw.
A very popular Sugar Ray Leonard.
Later that night, Leonard's impressive victory over Wilfredo Benitez only enhanced the celebrity of an already adored star. Hagler's hard road to the title finally ended a year later in London, England, with a gory 3-round TKO of Britain's own Alan Minter. But an enraged arena robbed the new champion of his long-drawn moment to shine.
And Hagler's on his knees, acclaiming his victory. Some people are throwing beer cans. One's landed on me. Beer cans are being hurled in all over the ring.
That's one of the things that disappointed Marvin, because he didn't get to walk around the ring and have the fans show him their approval. Didn't happen.
Now determined to stay on top, Hagler unleashed an endless string of consecutive knockouts, each one concluding in the celebration of his beloved belt.
To be middleweight champion of the world meant everything to Marvin Hagler. That was what it was all about for him.
It was his announcement to the world that he was somebody and meant something.
In the meantime, America's sweetheart, Sugar Ray Leonard, danced down a celebrated road of psychological savvy, avenging his only professional loss by frustrating the great Roberto Duran into quitting. Then dazzling fans with a potent encore against the hitman, Thomas Hearns.
And that's all. It's over. And Ray Leonard is the undisputed welterweight champion of the world against the...
By 1981, the undisputed king of boxing was exceeding the purses of heavyweights and basking in the affection of infinite fans.
Wow, was that the shit? No, that's just my dad.
But a fight between boxing's contrasting champions now seemed imminent.
It was obvious that, they had to get together. You had Sugar Ray, the pretty boy, the ABC kid, the flurry, the flash, the sizzle. And you got Marvin, Marvin just plugging along, mean, furious, leaving carnage behind him.
Ray wanted to walk down the street and people say, there's Ray Leonard, he's the greatest fighter that ever lived. And the way he could get there was by beating Marvin Hagler, the most menacing man within his realm. And it became an obsession with him, I think. It was interrupted, this obsession. It was interrupted by the detached retina.
The discovery of Leonard's detached retina in June of '82 was initially considered a career-ending eye injury. But with advanced medical treatment, doctors gave Leonard the green light to continue fighting. But the pull of public opinion proved stronger than medicine.
I was 25 years old. I didn't want to quit. But because of who I was, there was mass hysteria that I was willing to risk my eyesight.
He said, man, you got to be crazy. You got to be stupid. Come on, we're going to fight again. You can go blind. You got enough money, got a nice family, give it up.
If Ray Leonard does decide that's enough, I've had it, I'm not going to have a go at Marvin.
You got to make some of that money. I'm tired of people telling me how generous he is and how good friends we go. If I'm such a good friend, give me that big payday then. That's what we want. We want to show real artists and everything else out there, and I believe that it's us that can do it. All right. I like that.
Mike, trying to sign me up.
With Hagler's hopes running high, Leonard invited Muhammad Ali, Howard Cosell, and 10,000 other friends and fans to a gala ceremony in Baltimore's Civic Center. For Hagler's camp, the personal request of their presence could only mean one thing.
We figured that he invited us down to make the official announcement to the world that he was going to challenge marvelous Marvin Hagler.
And as I stand here, in 1 second, I'll tell you exactly what I'm going to do.
And we sat there with that anticipation as Leonard led us down the primrose path.
To Marvin Hagler, a fight with this great man, this great champion, could be one of the greatest fights in the history of boxing.
And when we got to the end of the primrose path, he cut off our head.
But unfortunately, it'll never happen. Thank you, and God bless you all. Thank you.
It was like just a backhander across the face to Marvin. You fool. You fool. You came all the way down here thinking I was going to give you this.
There it is. Sugar Ray Leonard has retired, and God bless him. He had nothing more ever to prove.
Marvin never, ever forgave him for that. To this day, you say Ray Leonard and you duck if you're with Marvin Hagler.
Would you have liked to fight him? Sure. That's an opportunity that I'm going to miss, but I believe he'll be back.
Though Leonard's life continued ringside, commentating on the accolades of others didn't sit well for a champion still in his prime.
Well, we talk about just how marvelous Marvin Hagler was tonight, Ray.
Ray is a guy who needs the spotlight. He's got to have the spotlight. I said, you know what? This is not fair. Because I wanted to fight Marvin Hagler. And I figured that my legacy was cut short.
Ray wanted to fight. And if he wasn't in the ring, if he wasn't fighting, if he